Okay, well, I will read a short poem. It's called Requiem Sylvam. Elena's heard this one before. Giselle for a forest, or death in the three languages. His words ring hollow to me now, an echo sounding, its thin white whistle of air through bamboo reeds, the sweet beat drum sound in the wood that should have stood forever. Now the sight of dead pine, each one down the line, each tree, each fine white birch spine, how the tall ones fall. Birds take flight, each swallow shaken from its nest. The fledglings try their best to fly. One by one, they all follow the pleat and flecks of mother bird. Feathers in flight, she turns her head, checks on her two chicks. Her call all brawl, squall, and bleat. All three grow small in the day as they flee the approach of night. Their wings flash, red, blue, bronze, in the sallow light of the setting sun, and gone. Thank you.
I'm going to read just a shortish poem. Time after time. You do it because the alternatives are none. You get out of bed because some things have to be done and you have to do them. Your children need normal to seem, if not to be. It's keep this job or possibly never get another. Meditate every morning or never again bother. Go to the gym or always be exhausted. Even this is not enough. You need luck to make it to a day when you know the receding of the darkness has begun, though it might be off and on for as long as you live. Or not. You're in a forest near dusk in February, and the cold purity of the light reminds you of a cathedral you entered once in some small Quebec town you'd been driving through. No one in the nave except you, and you, for no reason, closed your eyes. Now take off your gloves and hold out your hands. Your palms stinging with cold. Remember that moment of contact with everything alive in your life. Overhead in a dying oak, a pileated woodpecker, Mesozoic refugee, hammers and hammers and hammers. Thank you.
It's time, it's time, it's time. It's time to be a soldier and get this workout in before I can't because I'm 90 years older. It's time to push past inertia by letting my spirit take my body over. It's time to get my heart rate increasing and my blood rushing so I'll be clogged arteries flossing. It's time to get sweaty, cooling down the idea that any good fitness physique will ever stay without working out almost every day. It's time to work hard for the food I'll be eating, like the hunter-gatherers, one of the strongest humans science has ever proven. It's time to get my biceps strong enough to lift someone heavy when I fall, for my strength is enhanced for the service of compassion after all. It's time to get my arms and legs moving in a way that's biomedically and technologically amazing. It's time to get my cardio stronger so I can stand head to head with any competitor in any sport where we must respect parameters. It's time to exercise hard to beat obesity with its psychic diabetes so I don't lose any of my mobile abilities. It's time to work out hard to defeat high blood pressure with its psychic kidney failure so I don't have to go on dialysis every week to cleanse my blood from the unclean things in the food I eat. It's time to exercise hard to overcome heart disease with its sidekick aneurysm so I don't suffer internal bleeding, possibly during Christmas season. Finally, it's time to look at exercise as a pleasure and not torture my physical body because it keeps me away from dangerous health issues, allow me to live longer, and my heart beat drum, 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 drum stronger. It's time.
Okay. This is called These Days, March 22nd, 2020. The space station flew over our heads and we said, "There!" Our son said he'd already seen that. We argue a little on the way home because everyone's driving a little more cavalier these days. Never have more parents been asked to read stories. It's getting warmer. Thank you.
This one's called Niagara Falls. Later, your kitsch would embarrass me, but then you were a wonder. Force of nature, source of power, in a pink print blouse and polyester shorts. Atop a Skylon tower, we posed for a photo. I feigned falling, eyes wide, mouth 7-0. You laughed, your clairol red hair frizzy from the mist. Held me, kept me safe, surprising strength in your freckled arms. In the backdrop, Horseshoe Falls hugged us like a liquid Lucky Charm. The sound of the falls' brash cheers became so familiar that when it was gone, the silence felt foreign.
This is a high bun, and it's a true story. It's called The Drowning. Let's swim the neck of the great Orme. Reckless, we plunge into an ocean chilled by Welsh mountain streams. Halfway and my body cramps. Panic and sink, a clutching frenzy pulling my mates under too. Down again, my life flashes as staccato images back to my forgotten childhood. A frantic downloading of my conscious and subconscious searching for a lifeline. Third time down and suddenly, it's warm and peaceful. I'm floating gently in a pink embrace, my mother's womb. CPR, paddles and pump. The paramedic smiles reassuringly. I don't remember who dragged me ashore. I still say thank you in my prayers. Fish and coral, swaying to the ocean's pulse. Scuba diver. Thank you.
The poem is called The Legend of the Sand Dollar. Her radial metaphor is misinterpreted by the bilateral, who see doves in her teeth, flowers in her mouth, stars in her feet. Ravenous, she has adapted, unhunted and unhurried, storied on the seafloor. Her children born in turbulence clone the through line. She is not evidence of a loving God. She exists unaffected by definition, this singular expression of infinite possibility.